So in this video, we're going to go over how to size and fit your dog for a muzzle. So this is probably the most important step that you will take when purchasing a muzzle for your dog. If your muzzle doesn't fit well, it could be dangerous, it can be uncomfortable for your dog. So we really want to take the time to make sure that all of these measurements are correct and you're purchasing the best muzzle to fit your dog's measurements. There's a couple of different measurements that we will take. Every muzzle manufacturer has a slightly different system that they like you to do. But in general, the big ones that we're going to do today are muzzle height. We're going to do the circumference of the muzzle, and we're going to do the length of the snout. So those are the three big ones that you will see most muzzle manufacturers use. So we're going to go over those today, but there could be slightly other ones that they will require you when purchasing. So some things you'll need to measure your dog's muzzle height. If you can get a tailor's tape measure, you can get these pretty easily if you just go to the sewing section of pretty much any store like Walmart or Target. It's really nice to be able to have that for especially muzzle circumference. If you don't, you can always grab a piece of string, and then after you hold that measurement up, just hold it up to a ruler. For dogs that you have a very hard time handling, that you're trying to get a muzzle fitted, the Trust Your Dog has a nice little scale that you can print out and tape to the wall, and then you could always lure your dog in front of it with some treats or use things like that. You could even use a flat ruler if you had to, and videotape your dog for measurements like muzzle height or the snout length. So there's lots of ways that you could use, get around if you can't physically measure your dog or you don't have one of these tailor's tape measures. So we're going to talk about snout length first. So to get the snout length measurement, you want to measure at the waterline of the eyes. So ideally, you are not right on top of the eyes. If you measure too far up, when that muzzle pushes in, if the dog puts it on the ground, it's going to push up into their eyes. And if we are too far in the front, this means that we're going to have a lot of space in the front of the muzzle. So neither of those things are good. So the water line is kind of right at the edge of the eyes, this kind of line right here across. And then we go to the very tip of the nose. So if you can do the measurement in centimeters, I think that makes it a little bit more accurate. This is about 10 centimeters is what we would have here. The next measurement that we want is our snout width. So we want to make sure that the muzzle isn't pressing into the sides of the dog's head. That's uncomfortable for them. So you're going to take that measurement straight across, and you're going to try to mark the widest part of their cheeks where that muzzle would touch. So we don't bend the muzzle measurement around if we can. We try to keep it straight across, and you would measure again from the widest point to point on the cheeks. We're going to do muzzle height next. Ideally, you take the muzzle height measurement while the dog is panting. If you take it with a closed mouth, you're going to have to add several centimeters or inches onto that measurement. So we would like our dogs to be able to fully open their mouth. As I open his jaw up here, we would like a full mouth pant if possible. So you will again take that measurement from the top of the snout, and this should be straight, all the way down to the widest part of where their mouth is open. So this is how we would do the height measurement. And then for circumference, it would be the same thing. If your dog likes to hold toys in their mouth, if they're comfortable doing that, that is a way that you could get a full mouth measurement for circumference. If your dog isn't comfortable with that, you should never force anything in their mouth for them to hold. But we take that measurement, we do a full circle around, connect, and then this will be our marker for circumference. Again, if the dog's mouth is closed, add a couple of inches, 4 or 5 inches to that measurement to make sure that they can fully open their mouth while panting with the muzzle on.
Pull him, like turn him just slightly to the left.
Your left or my left?
His left.
Or sorry, that's not right. I guess it is right. You're gonna have a lot of editing. Sorry.
It's okay.
So this is the most important step that you can do when purchasing. We'll wait for the helicopter. Drones, helicopters, all things. Plane will crash at us. It's all the government's on strike. There's no aviation. What do they call those guys? Air traffic controllers. Okay. What am I doing?